Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning from Sydney, Australia. It is Tuesday morning. Here is the start of week 2 of our boost camp. It has been a pretty exciting start. Our first week on boost camp, obviously the first boost camp of January 2025, which is just fabulous that here we are, week 2 into our very first boost camp. And already I see people are calling out for when the next boost camp starts. I can tell you now that the next boost camp starts in February, and we're looking at February the 24th is going to be the start of our next boost camp, which means the brand new meal plan, which I'm starting to test now. I am testing the brand new meal plan that goes live for everyone who's joining us on the February boost camp. That goes live on the 17th of February, which is fabulous because it gives me a couple more weeks. Good morning, Stephanie. So lovely to see you, my darling. I love seeing your beautiful face. And look, oh, where is it? Where is it? Here it is. Look what I got on my desk. Stephanie sent me this for Christmas. That's on my desk. It's got I couldn't see it because I had my water bottle on it. So good morning to the beautiful Stephanie. Hope you're having a fabulous start to your day. So yeah, the new boost camp starts on Feb the 14th. Oh, sorry, that's Valentine's Day. Actually, I know why that date came up. And yes, it is Valentine's Day, but that's the day that our daughter gets married in New Zealand. So it's really stuck in my brain right now. So yeah, Feb the 14th is a wedding. But boost camp, the new meal plan goes on Feb 17th, which is a Monday, of course, and that's a week before our boost camp officially kicks off on the 24th of February. And good morning to Helen as well. So I know for a lot of you guys, you've taken up, we've been, good morning, Tony. For a lot of you guys, we've now got a subscription-based model with boost camp, so you can get a bronze, silver, or gold package. So you can do 1 month's boost camp, you can do 2 months, and you could buy 3 months all at one time. Now, the beauty of that is if you buy more than one boost camp, you obviously get a really good discount. So we know for people, some people will do a first boost camp and go, yeah, actually, I really like that. And they'll come back for boost camp round 2. They'll buy the 3-month subscription because they realize that the deal is really good. So we do have that operating, which is really exciting. In fact, there's been lots of changes. Like boost camp has evolved massively, and Bridget's Healthy Kitchen has evolved massively in the last month in itself. So we're not even a month since Christmas Day. I know it feels like Christmas was like last century right now. It really does, doesn't it? And good morning to Tracy. Good morning, my darling. Tracy, did you this is this lovely Tracy in Gold Coast. Oh, I love that photo, Tracy. Was that you on top of were you on top of a bridge? That's a great photo of you in the harbor. I'm going to say it's Sydney Harbor, but no, it could be any harbor looking in the background there. So Tracy, did you get your ambassador's contract? I know that you applied. Did you get it, my darling? Just making sure. We're going to be having a meeting about all our ambassadors today because we want to get you guys up and running today. So if you have applied to become a BHK ambassador, please send me back your signed contract ASAP because we want to get you guys up and running because we launched the new boost camp probably Wednesday or Thursday. So we want to get you guys up and running as quickly as we can. So if you are a BHK ambassador, what is a ambassador for BHK? Let me show you guys this. Where is it? Here it is. So in the last week, we officially launched the BHK Ambassador Program. Now, what the program is, it basically means that you get to earn while you get healthy. So we now we had an amazing response, by the way, from our ambassadors. When I put out the call for ambassadors, we had an amazing response. It was absolutely phenomenal. And we were calling for people who wanted to become an ambassador. So essentially you get paid to do what many people are doing anyway, which is to talk about BHK, talk about boost camp especially. So our ambassadors, what will happen is they will get their own unique link. And when they're talking to people, when they're sharing online, however they're getting the message across that they love the Boost Camp, if they give someone their unique link and that person signs up to Boost Camp or does signs up to Boost Camp for 1 month, 2 months, or 3 months, signs up to Boost Camp and books a one-on-one session with me, signs up to Boost Camp and buys the ebook package, that ambassador gets paid through their unique link. So it's a really cool program, and you don't have to be a nutritional coach. You don't have to be a mentor, because I know for a lot of us, we kind of share the Boost Camp knowledge in passing. It's maybe not even to someone that we know very well. Of course, if they are your friend or you know them well, then by all means stay in touch with them, because you've got a vested interest in wanting them to succeed, because there's someone that you care about. But if there's someone that you meet at the hairdressers, and I've done that so many times, it's really, the hairdressers is one of my favorite places, and at the salon as well. Like when I go in to see my skin specialist, and who thinks my skin's glowing, by the way, and he's always like, "What are you doing?" And so I'm always giving him information about Boost Camp. I need my own unique code. I need to have a chat with Mahi about that. I think I need my own unique code, because sometimes it's just that passing knowledge, right? That knowledge that we pass on to people, which is really fabulous. So yes, that all happened, and I know I've got some people there. I can see the beautiful Judy joining us this morning. Good morning, my love. I can see Tracy as well. Good morning, my darling. I hope you're well. I hope the is healing. And thank you, Tracy, for joining me yesterday on my TikTok live. Yes, I am a TikToker, and I love the TikTok platform. I really do. It's so much fun, and it's a completely different audience. And boy, oh boy, did we discover a completely different audience yesterday. So I got trolled yesterday, because it's a completely different audience. There's us who are there, there's some of you who join me because you just like watching me prep and probably listening to me tell my silly little stories as I'm prepping, getting ready for Boost Camp, getting ready for the week. So we had a troll come on yesterday, and he was a little bit rude. And I had a lot of fun trolling him back. It's, I don't want to troll anyone here on Facebook, because I love all you guys, but goodness me, am I able to troll people on TikTok? It was very inappropriate what he said. I will not repeat it here, but it had to do with the bedroom. I'll leave it at that. But it got a pretty decent response, and he ended up leaving because he got embarrassed, I think. So it was really good. So yeah, Tracy, good to see that you got that contract. If you please, my darling, have a read, send it through. Oh yes, so we had a troll come on us. You guys got to join me on TikTok. You have, in fact, today I'm doing two videos today. I'm going to do a Facebook Live fiber syrup cooking class, because our fiber syrup is on special. Let me just mention this. So where are we? Let me pull it up. Here we go. So our fiber syrup is, you can't see that. My thing's in the way. It's 40% off. Our fiber syrup is 40% off at the moment in our store. So, of course, you need to come over to our store. Where's our store? Let me put that. I've got so many little clicky things here to show you guys. Right. So if you go to my store, Bridget.shop, you can get 40% off fiber syrup. It's $9.95 a bottle, basically. It's the cheapest we've ever had it. I want to move it because I've got new product arriving at the end of the week. So I want to move the product that we've got. It's not out of use by date. It's got a use by date, I think, August this year. So the 8th or the 21st. So it's not out of use by date. There's nothing wrong with it. I just want to move it so that we can make room for the new stock that's coming in. So we've got a fiber syrup sale. So I'm doing a fiber syrup cooking class today right here on Facebook, which is very exciting. And it's just to help us, to remind us how healthy it is and how versatile it is and how good it is to have in our cooking. So that's number one. So I'm doing that. I'm also going to be doing on TikTok Live, I'm going to be cleaning up my spice cupboard. I know it sounds really random, but if you guys have seen my spice cupboard, it's humongous. Like my spice cupboard it's got 3 shelves. I need more shelves. So I'm going to be going through my spices, talking about different spices that I use, why I use them, and kind of just filling up all my jars and making a list of the spices that I've run out of. I was at my local spice market yesterday, and it just reminded me of how much I need to clean up my spice cupboard. So that's happening on TikTok today. But You got to join me on TikTok. You absolutely. Then here's why. Are you ready? So, I thought that the trolls would put me off, right? Because no one, well, I used to get trolls here on Facebook, but now you guys are so strong. It's really hard to be a troll here because you guys will just shut them down. But on TikTok, it's a completely different audience. And the audience can be a little bit, inappropriate. So we had this one guy come on. His name was Jacob. I'll never forget. Jacob came on, tried to troll me, got trolled back, but I don't stop at one response. I just kept on hitting him, and he tried to come back again, and I hit him again and again. I actually had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun because sometimes you just need an outlet. And if you're going to troll me, I'm going to troll you back. And like I said, I don't need to do it here because everyone in this community is the best community on the planet. But on TikTok, you get a lot of people who don't necessarily follow you, have never been exposed to you before, have no idea what you're about, have no idea. They literally have no idea, so they jump on and they try, and it doesn't go well for them. But my God, it was fun. But then we had, so one of the things you can do on TikTok, and that's why I love the platform, not that I want to use it, is you can have two people on a live at the same time, and they can actually ask if they can join your live. So as I'm doing my live on TikTok, and I'm talking about, cutting onions, and and why I don't need to peel garlic. Literally, this is what my TikTok's about. And I'm showing people how to make eggs in purgatory and how to poach the perfect egg. And we're doing all sorts of, toasting nuts and roasting vegetables. This is all done on this one live yesterday. So it's just kind of me prepping, right? Really ad lib. It's not, a lot of it that I'm doing is not planned. I mean, I've got a list, but I don't really stick to it. It's just kind of like, oh, I'm doing this now because that's how I am in the kitchen. Most of the times I've got a list, but then I'm like, oh, I might as well cook that because it's there. So I'm doing all this, and this guy, well, many people will try and join my live, and I just ignore them. But there's one particular time, and I had probably about 25 people try and join my live yesterday. And I didn't know any of them, and they didn't know me, and they were just probably, more trolls or just really random. And so I'm looking through my comments because the comments are coming really, really fast. And I tried to get rid of someone who was trying to join my live. I tried to say, no, I do not, get lost, decline, you can't join me. But I accidentally pressed accept. And this guy popped up on the screen, and it's like a split screen. And I swear to you, I kid you not, Tracy remembers this. Where is this? Tracy remembers, right? The split screen turns up on TikTok. And I swear to you, this guy looked like Elvis. Like he had the whole hair going on. He was Elvis. Yeah, that was Tracy. Elvis has left the building. He was Elvis with the hair. But I tried not to be mean. I said, I was like, oh, what have we, what the heck? And I was like, please leave. Like, oh, you're not supposed to be. That was an accident. And he started getting rude. He started doing rude things. No, it was just it was this part. So he's just like licking his lips, and I was like, ugh. It was totally. So I was like, my God, you look like Elvis. But Elvis during, and I didn't want to say Elvis during his, years. I said Elvis during his unhealthy years. And I threatened to report him to TikTok. So he left the building, as Tracy said. It was absolutely hilarious. So yeah, TikTok's fun. I'll be doing spices today. Anyway, I digress. Let's get on to the main topic for today. Which, I'm sorry, I'm still laughing about the trolls. It's fun. I actually really enjoy it. I forgot, I mean, and I suppose I feel sorry for the trolls because I live with someone who is very witty. And in order to live with someone who's very quick and very witty, not naming any names, but he is, I've developed a very fast comeback. And we, of course, are just, giving each other little digs all day. And of course, they're out of love and good. And we both know it's humor. It's not because we're trying to be mean to each other. But it means I've got some really good fast comebacks. And this is what I've been taught over the decades that I've lived with this particular very witty person. My comebacks are good. So I enjoyed the trolling. Troll me more, please. I don't mind. It gives me an opportunity to just test out some of my one-liners, my zingers, some of my little bangers that I can throw at Mr. Witty when he's being naughty. But anyway, let's get on to the main topic for tonight and for today. And our main topic for today is literally, why don't diets work? Let's be honest. Why don't diets work? I'm going to put that into, I'm just typing this. You guys need to have it on the banner. Why don't? I'm going to spell correctly. DONT. Diets. Because let's be honest, they don't, right? They absolutely don't work. And why is that? Why don't? Oh, gosh, Bridge. Trying to type and talk is actually not part of my skill set. Why don't? That's better. Try that, shall we? Yay, she got it right. So, look, when it comes to diets, and look, one of the things that, you know, I love about this audience is we can be really honest with each other. People come to Boost Camp because they want to try a new diet. And one of the first things we say when people come to Boost Camp is not a diet. One of the first things we say, right? And this is why diets don't work, is because a lot of people, not all people, but a lot of people, especially if they've never met anyone like an ambassador, BHK ambassador, who can kind of explain to them that this is, Boost Camp is about changing our behaviors, changing our norm, making it automatic, making it innate, making it just who we are and what we do, because we have that frame of thinking when it comes to Boost Camps. Boost Camp is not a diet. It's a lifestyle change. It's learning how we can do things sustainably that will literally benefit us for the rest of our lives. Whereas a diet, and this is one of the main reasons diets don't work, is a diet means it's got a start date and it's got a finish date. And when something has a start and a finish date, and it's not something that you take on board for the rest of your life, of course, that is not going to work. Because if you go back, if you start a diet, like let's just say you start a diet on Monday, the 1st of March, and you go right to, whatever, Sunday, the 30th of March. Is there 30 days in March? Well, there is in my calendar. Yes, there is. Whatever the end of March is. I don't know that little song that you guys, that we used to sing at school, how many dates, how many days are in particular months. But anyway, let's just say you do a diet for the entire March month. You start on the 1st and you end on the last day of March. And if you do that and you stick to it for that entire month of March, chances are, let's be honest, you're going to have some results. Of course you will. You're going to have some results, right? Oh, someone's asked me what's my TikTok account. It's BHK Chef on TikTok. That's who I am, BHK Chef. You've got to download the app. It's such a fun platform. And I got to say also, just back on the TikTok thing, that was from Stephanie. What's your TikTok? So it's it's TIKTOK TikTok. And I'm BHK Chef. Not that hard to remember, right? So back to the diet. So you're on this diet for a whole month, and if you stick to it for a whole month, and quite frankly, it doesn't really matter what that diet is. Maybe you're doing the soup diet. Imagine eating soup for a whole month. I could do it for like a meal, but I don't think I want to do it for a month. Maybe you're doing the egg diet. Yeah, there is such a thing where people eat lots and lots of boiled eggs. Maybe you're doing the carnivore diet where you just eat meat. There is that diet. It does exist. It's actually really popular, especially within the brosphere. So a lot of men and young men find this are really into it. Women do it as well, I must say, but it tends to be more men than women. So there's the carnivore diet. Maybe you're doing, good morning, Tony, as well. Maybe you're doing, oh, Cherie, thank you, Cherie, for buying our fiber syrup. You're so smart. And yeah, you're on a good thing there, 40% off our fiber syrup. Maybe you're on what's the other diets I've seen? Oh, there's the lemon water diet. There is the juice diet. Let's be honest, there is Weight Watchers, Jenny. I don't even know if Jenny Craig is still going. I think that may have shut down. And there's every diet, keto to suit every person's way of thinking. There's vegan diets, there's plant-based diets, there's fish-only diet. There's just everything that's out there, right? And if you do whatever diet, maybe you're calorie counting, whatever diet you're doing, and you do it for a full month, you will get some type of results. The results may be a couple of kilos loss. The results may be more significant than that. But if you stick to it for a month, you'll get results. Imagine you've been on this soup diet or a juice diet or a meat-only diet or a fish diet or a plant-based diet or whatever it is. So you've changed the way you've been doing things. And the month ends, so March I need to know how many days are in March. March the 31st comes around. Yeah, I knew that. March the 31st comes around and the diet finishes and you've gone, great, I've lost X amount of kilos. This is amazing. Now I'm going to go back to what I was doing before. Because the diet that you were on, juice only, soup only, meat only, plant-based, whatever it is, right? Keto, calorie counting, Weight Watchers, whatever it is that you're on. You now stop doing that because the diet's officially finished. You've finished, you've done your month, you're feeling great, you're fitting into whatever you want to fit into. You go off to the family occasion, but you go right back, you fall right back into the types of foods and the types of behaviors you're doing pre-diet. You fall right back into that, into those old habits. And you're back eating the foods that caused you to put on the weight, the inflammation, and the poor health in the first place. You go right back. Because unfortunately, the majority of diets, they're just not sustainable. Like imagine eating soup for the rest of your life. All you did was puree things down and that was your life, right? You ate soup. Because like I said, the soup diet's a real thing. Don't look it up. Don't waste your time, but it's a real thing. Now imagine you did that. Imagine. Good morning to Debbie. I just saw you there, my darling. Good morning. And good morning to Margaret as well. And Margaret's also talking about another type of diet. Yeah. Limited calories. Oh, yeah. Limiting your calories and counting your calories. And then on top of that, having to add lots of expensive supplements at the same time. Right? That's definitely a very common diet. A lot of people think and believe, because this is what they're being told, is that all you need is these fancy supplements and this fancy packaging that'll be sent to a house once a month, and you're going to be healthy. And 6 months down, and a couple $1,000s later, and you're still waiting for the health to happen because you can't out supplement a poor diet. And when I say the word diet, what I'm talking about is nutritional intake. You can't out supplement bad food, pretty much. So diets don't work for many reasons. One of them being most diets out there are fads. They're not sustainable. They are restrictive. For example, eating just soup, eating just meat, having just juices or smoothies. Like there's nothing sustainable about that. So the minute you stop just having smoothies, the minute you stop having that replacement shake and you actually put real food back into the equation, your body is just sitting there waiting for the weight to come back on. It's what is called the rebound. So you lose a bunch of weight. If it's a real fad diet, so it's really highly restrictive, like for example, it's extreme calorie counting, or it's souping, or it's egg diet, or it's juice diet, or it's a lemon water diet, or whatever it is that causes a really restrictive and a very unrealistic weight loss. Unrealistic. What can happen during that unrealistic weight loss? And you're not supporting your gut, because none of those diets really do support your gut. You're not supporting your blood sugar regulation. You're not supporting and making sure that the diet is not just, obviously there's weight loss involved, but there's also a lot of inflammation getting rid of, because a lot of these diets, you're not losing inflammation, you're holding on to inflammation, because a lot of these diets are nutrient deficient. So if you're not supporting all those mechanisms, your weight loss, even though it may be significant throughout that month, is unrealistic. And because it's unrealistic, your metabolism slows down at the same time. So when you stop the diet, your metabolism has basically got the handbrake on it. So when you stop the diet, you go back to your old behaviors and habits, how you ate pre-diet. Your metabolism will slow down. So when you're putting in all that food and energy and starch and sugar and normal processed food, your ability to put on weight massively increases because your metabolism is slowed down. And a lot of these diets as well, you're not just losing fat and you're not just losing inflammation, you're losing muscle mass at the same time. So that's why fad diets don't work. And that's why diets don't work, because they don't teach you sustainable practices. In fact, a lot of diets set you up for failure on purpose. They want you to fail. I mean, that sounds really crazy, but they want you to fail. And the reason why they want you to fail is because they want you to come back and to buy more of their product. And here we go. I just saw this from Leanne. Good morning, my darling Leanne. I hope you're well. My friend said to me the other day about the carnivore diet. I asked why it's not good. She said, people have results. I still said it's not good. People have results because it's extreme and it's restrictive. But the long-term side effect of just consuming meat, it's not how our biology works. So the science behind the nutritional science is just consuming protein and missing out on the other equally important macronutrients that the body needs to thrive and survive. Yes, if weight loss was just your goal, there are better ways to do it. Let me tell you that. And there are safer ways to do it. And there are more sustainable ways to do it. Imagine just eating meat for the rest of your life. Well, you can't really, can you? I mean, how can you just eat meat for the rest of your life and miss out on fiber? Because guess what? What does your gut bacteria like to eat? Oh, fiber. How much fiber is there in meat? Nothing. Zero fiber in meat. Are you guys listening? There is zero fiber. There is no fiber in meat. So this is what we're seeing now when it comes to long-term use of the carnivore meat-only diet, is the increases and the higher risk of bowel cancer, because the digestive system is so incredibly unhealthy. It is so unhealthy, and it's just not sustainable. And it's not even just not sustainable. It's not very, in my mind, carnivore diet, it's not very responsible to eat that much meat. Like protein in moderation, and ideally that protein is from a good source and it's ethical and it's grass-fed and it's an animal that hasn't been absolutely destroyed in feedlots, and it's an animal that hasn't been disrespected. Yet here we are, and this, like I said, this diet's really popular amongst men especially, and some women. And it's extremely dangerous. I mean, we're talking about a diet that, like I said, it's unsustainable. It is unsustainable. So when you stop the carnivore diet, like any other fad out there, all the weight will come back on. It will come back because your body is nutrient deprived in a major, major way when you're just sticking to one particular highly restrictive item of food. So that's one of the reasons they don't work. Restrictive, boring. Imagine just eating one thing. Imagine just having soup. It's boring, right? Another reason why diets don't work is because a diet needs to be the type of foods that you eat every day, not something you do from start to finish. It's what you do every day. That is your diet. That's what you consume. But if it's boring, like you just eat meat, or you just have soup, or you just eat eggs. Yes, there is an egg diet. It just blows my mind. And if it's boring, chances are you're not going to stick to it. And chances are you're not going to do it for the rest of your life. And I think that's why Boost Camp is so revolutionary, because I'm creating recipes. I'm still creating recipes now. I've lost count, pardon me, of the amount of meal plans I've made, the amount of boost camps that we've actually done. It's well into the 30s, probably close to 40s now, boost camps that we've actually done. So that's 40 different meal plans. That means for every boost camps, I've created new recipes. So the boost camps continue to evolve as the nutritional science gets better, as the types of ingredients that we are able to purchase increases as well, healthy ingredients. So for example, for anyone who's joining us on the next boost camp, so this is the February boost camp, I can let you guys know right now that I will be introducing a new ingredient. I highly recommend you go out and source it now, because it's not easy to find, but my goodness, it is, I believe, after doing all my, me, I do all my research, I believe it's an ingredient that will over time become extremely common in all our supermarkets, in all our stores, because it is, I don't want to use the word superfood, but it is extremely beneficial to our bodies. And here's the great thing about it. It can be used as a flour replacement. It is very, very high in fiber and protein. So it's also great for people who are wanting to reduce their animal protein intake. So vegetarians, pescatarians, it's great for anyone who does that as well, because it gives us another great option. It is a legume, so it looks like a little bean, and it's called lupini or lupin, Lupin beans. We're going to be doing stuff with lupin flour, which is just ground down lupins, obviously. And all the research that I'm doing on lupins is it's pretty phenomenal. So it's got the highest protein count of any bean. Prior to that, it was probably lentil was the next biggest or highest protein count for a bean, but now we've got lupin. But the problem with lentils is, yes, they've got a lot of protein, but they've also got a lot of carbohydrates. So lentil, you've got the great protein, but then you've got the massive spike of blood glucose because of the carbohydrate load in lentils and chickpeas, by the way. And chickpeas don't have as much protein as lentils. So I was looking for an alternative, because I love giving you guys options when it comes to different protein sources, so we don't get bored, because that's why diets don't work. But at the same time, I'm also really, really mindful that that protein source needs to be not spike your blood glucose, because we all know that it is impossible to lose fat when your glucose is elevated. So I was looking around, and what do you know? I come across this bean called lupin, and did my research, and I was blown away at how high the protein was, how much fiber was in there. So ticking two of my boxes straight away, but extremely low carbohydrate, which means it will not spike your blood glucose, which means it's great for anyone who's insulin resistant, anyone who's type 2 diabetic, anyone who wants to lose weight, anyone who's trying to maintain that stable blood sugars so that you get rid of the inflammation. This bean's amazing, and it comes in flour form. It actually comes in flakes too. So if you guys want to have a little look, I'm just going to throw into the comments the name of it so you can do your little research on where you can buy this. So lupin, or it's also called lupini flour. Check that out. Get some. I bought mine on Amazon.com.au. I bought mine on Amazon. I went and looked in all my normal stores yesterday, couldn't find it anywhere. And so I did my due diligence. In saying that, I haven't been into a health food store yet. I don't tend to shop in health food stores. I find them, unfortunately, to be a little bit on the pricey side. And I'm the budget queen. Like, I don't care, man. I'm going where it's cheapest. If it's on special, I'm buying two. If it's got a sale on, I'm there. And if it's not, I'm like, no, I really need it. I have to really need it in order to buy it. So, and I got it on Amazon, and it was heaps cheaper than buying it and just like through other websites. So I did get mine on Amazon. So lupini flour or lupin flour is what we're going to be creating some recipes from and incorporating to the next boost camp. So that's one of the ways that diets don't work, is they don't evolve. They stick to a set formula without the possibility of evolution. in terms of recipe creation, meal plan creation, understanding the nutritional science, and also understanding that science is always evolving. It's not black and white, it's gray. Science continues to get clever. When we know something, that can help to, it's like having some knowledge here can lead you on to more knowledge branches below that. And that's why I love science, and that's why this is a science-backed program, because the science will continue to evolve. And let's be honest, what I know now compared with what I knew, when I first started this journey, is night and day, right? Like, I had no idea about any of this, and my knowledge has been built up over the years, and it's the knowledge that I share with you guys. And yeah, it's exciting. Tony's just saying she's wondering whether she may have seen that flour in Woolies. What Woolies would be, I've looked on the websites, but it's different in your state, obviously, to my state. I've looked on the websites here in New South Wales, and I could not find it in the supermarket, but it's worthwhile letting your fingers do the walking and seeing where you can find it near you. You're looking for the flour, Linda. It is the lupin or lupini flour that you are after. I've left it in the comments on how to spell it. So it evolves, and if a diet doesn't evolve, the science becomes old. It's one of the reasons why that food pyramid and calorie counting, that science has not evolved. I mean, the science has evolved past it, but the actual premise of the diets haven't evolved. Like, we used to think calorie counting was the way to go. We now know that's just a ridiculous way of looking at our bodies. Our bodies don't recognize what a calorie is. Like, if you're on a calorie controlled diet and your calories are, 500 calories a day, it doesn't matter what you eat then, right? You're just counting the calories. Like, could I have a Big Mac combo and still be within my calorie count? Probably not. I think it's more than 500 calories, but you know where I'm going here. Like, just counting calories is ridiculous. You've actually got to be counting plants if you're going to count anything. It's about nutrition. It's about feeding your gut bacteria. It's about stabilizing your blood sugar. It's about understanding mindful eating, and it's about, making sure you're drinking all your water and getting sleep and all that stuff that makes up this lifestyle that so many diets do not address because they don't teach. They don't teach the fundamentals. There's not that education component of so many diet programs, because chances are the person who's delivering that program to you doesn't know either. They haven't been taught. They're not qualified to deliver these. And I'm talking a lot about other programs online that you might see, like multi-level marketing programs or network marketing programs that attach a diet to their selling of their supplements. Then they get people to become coaches and mentors. And quite frankly, these people are not qualified to coach or mentor you because they don't have any health qualifications and they're not nutritionists. And for many of them, they're doing it, and I get why they're doing it, because they want to increase the household budget. But it's actually can be quite dangerous for you, because are they giving you information that is correct? Or are they giving you information that is just being passed down the sales channels to them to sell more product? So, if you are doing some other program or a diet and they're not teaching you why you eat this, not just eat this. Like, if I was just give you the recipes and the meal plan and just go, off you go, goodbye, you're on your own now. There'll be such a massive gap in your knowledge, massive gap. And if you are joining us on boost camps and you haven't invested in the knowledge side of it, you are missing out on one of the fundamental reasons why boost camp works, is because there is a knowledge educational component to this. Because if you're just doing it blindly, if you're just doing it, following the recipes in the meal plan, you will get success, but chances are you may not sustain your success because you never learnt why. You never learnt why these foods are not on the plan and not on the list. You never learned why we eat the foods that we eat and they are on the plan. You haven't you may not understand how food impacts your blood glucose and how blood glucose impacts your insulin. And if you don't know those connections, when you are not on a boost camp and you're off doing your own thing, which I absolutely want you to be doing, But I want you to be doing it with the knowledge that when you walk into that supermarket, you can go through the shelves and you'll be like, this is why I don't put that into my trolley. This is why this food does not go into my pantry, because I know what these foods do to me and how they do it. And I don't want to do that to me, to myself. Most diets don't teach that. We teach that in Boost Camp. It's part of the program. That knowledge component is really, really important. Because if you don't teach, you won't learn. And if you don't learn, you run the risk of making the same mistakes over and over and over again because you don't even know you're making them. Most diets, right? Let's be honest. Most diets don't address habits or behaviors. They don't address stress. They don't address emotional eating. We address these things in Boost Camp. We address that at the very core of what we do. Often we don't even know we're doing it because the habit is just so ingrained. The behavior is just something that we've done time and time again that we don't actually realize we're doing it. Now, that can all change. If you've identified behaviors that you want or need to change because you have identified that they're not supportive behaviors, we can begin to break down those unsupportive behaviors and build you up with supportive behaviors. Great example of this is what's next to me on my desk. That was never a behavior before. It was not my behavior to get up in the morning and drink a liter of water while I'm, brushing my hair and putting on my makeup. That never happened. My goodness. I was probably lucky to do 200 mils of water a day. I think probably drunk more water whilst brushing my teeth than I did at any other time of the day. That was a behavior I'd gotten used to over years and years of practicing that behavior. It became a habit. I just didn't drink water. It was a habit not to drink water. My habit now is I'm already on, my second liter of the day. It's 9:30 in the morning here in Sydney. So, most diets don't address those behaviors. They don't address the habits that are supportive and unsupportive. Most diets, and this is why they don't work, they don't address the science. They don't care to tell you what the science is because who needs to know about that? Whereas I'm like, yeah, man, you need to know the science. You need to know that your body is a machine. And we want to make it a well-oiled, well-operating machine, right? Your body has got so many mechanisms that if you understand scientifically how those mechanisms operate, you are in control. My God, imagine that. Imagine having control of your body rather than just kind of crossing your fingers and hoping for the best. Oh, I hope this works. Oh, I hope the carnivore diet works. Oh my gosh, why am I constipated? Oh my gosh, why am I now having, unusual results in my digestive system? I mean, it's just madness that we think that we can just be so restrictive, whereas the body is a very complex system. The digestive system is a complex system. And just eating meat does not address those 40 trillion microorganisms that call you home. Doesn't give them what they want to eat. It definitely does not support. And here's the thing, if you're not supporting your gut health, you're not supporting your mood regulation. So I'm talking about depression, anxiety. If someone is prone to, has already been diagnosed bipolar, schizophrenic, like we're talking about some very, very dangerous behaviors for someone who just eats meat or just eats, just has soup. Or just drinks juice for a month. It's just not supportive, and that's why they don't work. It's not addressing how the body actually works. And one of the big things for me about why diets don't work is they don't have a community that is supportive as you guys. Karen's asking about alcohol. I will get onto that, Karen, in a second. So, community and support is everything. To know that you're not doing this alone. To know that if you've got questions, you can jump into the community and they'll answer your questions. If you don't get your question answered there, you can jump into and email our admin team. You can join me on a live Ask the Question, which is what Karen's done. She's asked a question about alcohol, which is really important. The community and your ability to be able to talk to the person who created the program is important. And I want to make sure to give that to you guys, that I am accessible and I am responsible and I am accountable. So if you've got questions, I want to be able to answer your questions. And it's the same with my team as well. So, oh my gosh, just before we get on to Karen's question, this is from Jackie. I have heat bags. I've seen lupin heat bags, Jackie. Please don't open your wheat bags and use the lupins. Might be a little bit gone. So yeah, look at that. They're even better in heat bags. Wheat bags, I call them, but they're heat bags, aren't they? I love that. And they don't smell. Yes, so they're very common. I have seen. As I was doing my research on the lupin beans and where to find them, the heat bags kept on popping up, and I was like, no, I just want the beans. I want the beans. I want the flour. We're going to get the flour this time around. So Diane's just asked if I've heard of the plant paradox. Yes, I have heard of the plant paradox. And look, if it's by the guy that I think it is, which is yeah, it has been, unfortunately, the plant paradox has been well and truly debunked. In fact, it's quite unfortunate, but Dr. Stephen Gundry has not got a great reputation within the functional medicine space because, again, he's relying on some research that is not very good research. In fact, the research has been fully and utterly debunked. He talks about what does he talk about? It's just, I can't remember the name of it. It's like an anti-nutrient, and plants have an anti-nutrient, and we should stop eating plants. Look, he can just shush. It's absolutely ridiculous. Please do not pay any attention to that man behind the curtain. It is, anti-nutrients are basically a plant's defense system against invaders. So if you eat too many anti-nutrients, you're going to be having these kind of like negative side effects. That has been well and truly debunked. Well and truly debunked. In fact, those anti-nutrients in plants help our body to become even more resilient. So there is a bonus to eating plants, because if you're eating a plant and it has an anti-nutrient involved, which helps to fight off predators, right, being eaten basically, those anti-nutrients can go in and support our health even further, because our body has to develop its own ability to combat those anti-nutrients. So you become more resilient, which is the science that is now yeah, it's a bit crazy. So I have heard of that, but I just want to address this in terms of this is from Karen. She wants to know about alcohol and how alcohol does it play a positive or a negative role in our health. And so alcohol is, it's a drug for a start, and it becomes, if you're drinking regularly, we've got to call it what it is, right? If you're drinking regularly, it's an alcohol dependency. It fires up certain parts of the brain, reward systems in the brain, which can make it addictive, as we know, and alcoholism is a real thing. And you're talking to someone who is a recovering alcoholic. So I'm not talking out of this without any lived experiences. I have lived it for many, many years. No excuses. I just like the taste of it, and I like the way it made me feel. So I drank it, and I drank a lot of it. And I was a high functioning alcoholic for many, many years of my career as a chef. Easy access to it, always had it around. So I drank it, and like I said, there's no excuses, except it made me feel the way I wanted to feel, and I like the taste of it. And so alcohol is problematic in a number of ways. Number one is it's really, really bad for decision making. You make pretty bad decisions when you've had a few drinks. Let's be honest. People do not make better decisions when they have been drinking. They're always not as good as when you are clear-minded and sober. And talking about that clarity of mind, one of the things that alcohol does is alcohol is a neurotoxin. So it's a poison to the brain. So that feeling of being, being all drunk, basically, or tiddly, that is basically because there's poisons now floating in your brain and causing your brain to be off kilter. So it's a neurotoxin. So yes, it destroys brain cells. Yes, it will shrink your brain. Yes, you'll be a lot more likely to develop dementia, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, have a stroke, and have basically your brain structure start to break down. So your brain will begin to shrink if you if you drink a lot of alcohol. But the other thing about alcohol, which makes it really, really dangerous to our health, is that alcohol is a hormone disruptor. So the main hormone that alcohol disrupts is your cortisol. Now, cortisol is responsible for our fight or our flight or our freeze behaviors, right? So it's our stress hormone. It controls how we feel emotionally. As our cortisol goes up, we start to get stressed out. That's our, it tips over to anxiety. It tips over to, worrying and all those things that we associate with feeling stressed out, right? Just not feeling right in the world. So alcohol disrupts cortisol. It's the reason why some people, when they're drunk, cry. It's because their cortisol is disrupted. It's the reason why some people, when they're drunk, get aggressive. It's their cortisol that's disrupted. It's the reason why some people are really, really happy, because their cortisol is disrupted. It's also the reason why people misbehave, is because their hormones are completely imbalanced when they're drinking too much alcohol. So you've got this hormonal imbalance. Now, cortisol's other job is to regulate how you sleep. And so cortisol is responsible for waking you up in the morning. So if you've been drinking and you wake up at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, you're like, oh, why am I awake? That's cortisol being disrupted. You may fall asleep because you're drunk or you're inebriated, your brain was sleepy, but the chances of you staying asleep are quite limited because the cortisol is dysregulated and it wakes you up 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. So you're not getting good sleep, which is in every sense of the word bad for you. You are hormonally imbalanced, which is every sense in the way bad for you. Your body just wants to find balance. You're making poor decisions. You're poisoning your brain. These are the things that stop me from drinking every day, by the way. These are all the things. But here's the other thing that alcohol will do. It will destroy your healthy gut bacteria. So if you are on a gut health program and you have a glass of wine, or your hard work on building up your gut bugs, your good guys, has been destroyed because alcohol gets rid of or annihilates bacteria, even the good ones, especially the good ones. So you're going to have a dysregulated gut as well. So we've got all these reasons to not drink. And it's the reason why alcohol, for a lot of people can be a reason why diets don't work. Because you're like, well, I've been on this diet all week. I deserve a drink. And then your decision-making isn't as good. And then your gut bacteria is destroyed. And then you're off balance and you're not sleeping right. And all the things are happening, and like suddenly the packet of chips is coming out of the cupboard that you've stayed away from all week because, your decision-making isn't quite as good. And then you wake up the next day and you're hungover or you're tired or, because you didn't sleep well, you didn't sleep deeply. And so the next day is destroyed as well as your gut bacteria that have been destroyed. So you can see this flow and effect of how alcohol really doesn't have a place, in a program like Boost Camp. And I'm not saying you can't drink, but I'm saying if you are really wanting to make this your year, 2025, and this is me, right? I had a big Christmas and New Year's and birthday season. It was big. There was some champagne being drunk, let me tell you. And I felt pretty rubbish the entire time. But I also knew that it wasn't going to be something that I do all the time. And I was celebrating, and I had great reason to celebrate, and I'm so glad that I did. But my body was just like, what are you doing? Hey. So that's all stopped, and I knew it would stop, and I knew it had a finish time, and I'm good with that because I feel so much better when I'm not drinking, and I can make better decisions, and I sleep better, and my gut health is better, and I can get onto my bike in the gym, and I'm cycling to Brisbane, if anyone doesn't know, the equivalent of Sydney to Brisbane. So from my front door to the center of Brisbane, right, the center of Brisbane is 975 kilometers. So I would not be doing that if I was hungover. I would not be doing that, if I had had a bad night of sleep. I would not be doing that if I had a few drinks or considering having a few drinks. I would not be making these goals. So these are all the reasons why diets don't work, and all the reasons why Boost Camp does. And you should come and join us on Boost Camp if you aren't already. Why aren't you? Why aren't you coming over to Boost Camp? Because on Boost Camp, we address all those issues. I've designed Boost Camp to address the issues of why other diets don't work. And Boost Camp is not a diet. It's 100% not a diet. It is a lifestyle. And it's a very, very fun, delicious, eye-opening, challenging, productive, life-changing, all the words, all the words possible. It is the most incredible journey I've been on in my 50 years on this planet. It is something I would never ever stop doing. I love the way it makes me feel. I love the fact that I keep on coming up with these new challenges. I love hanging out with this amazing community. You guys make this what it is as well, because it's all part of why Boost Camp works. And I love always being able to increase my knowledge and challenging you guys with new ingredients. Remember, lupin flour, Lupin, is going to be on the next Boost Camp. Lupin, look it up. Look up why it's good for you. You're going to be as blown away as I was. And let's get cooking in the kitchen. Because when we are in the kitchen and we are cooking our food, we are in control. So have a fabulous day today, everyone. I will be doing a cooking class very soon, fiber syrup. After my next meeting, I'll be doing a fiber syrup cooking class. I'll be jumping on TikTok and cleaning up my spice cupboard if anyone's interested a little bit later on as well. Until then, have a great day, everybody. It's been fantastic hanging out with you. Be well and be safe. And we'll see you guys all real soon back here in the studio. Until then, take care, everyone. Bye-bye. Bye, guys.